Sometimes you never know what something impacted people until you hear them share their version of how it impacted them. And that shit just made me realize the power I have in me of touching people and creating safe spaces for people. I didn't know, like, I knew I had that, but hearing them, their testimonials was like a wow moment. So, but
hi, shit talkers. Welcome to Talk Shit with P. And I am your host, Paula, the shit talker.
Shit talking, always rocking. Shit talkers, come on and drop in. Shit talk is always shocking. Talking shit with P, yeah.
I mean, don't we all like talking shit anyways? Talk Shit with P is the podcast for you.
Talking shit with P, yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello. Thank you for joining us on Talk Shit with P. You probably don't recognize my voice. I'm Amanda from Amanda's Mindset, and I am here interviewing Paula today. Paula, how you doing?
I'm fabulous to have you take over my show as the season finale of season 8 is amazing. I'm happy to be here.
I am happy to be here too. I love to talk, and we are celebrating so much for P. 10,000 downloads. Oh my God. How did that feel? How did that feel getting that notification?
It felt different because actually I was watching it happen. Now, I am not a numbers person. I've never worried about my downloads, and I never cared. The fact that I would even get 2 downloads when I see 2 people, I'm like, that's 2 people listening. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. And as I always tell people, I am selfish because when people ask me who my podcast is for, I tell them it's for me because it really has been my therapy. So because it was always for me, and then if somebody else gets something out of it, that's a bonus, but it really was for me. So I wasn't concentrated on the numbers, but it was funny. I woke up and I don't know, something told me to go, and this is Buzzsprout's fault because ever since they had the app, it's easier to just log in compared to when I used to have to go on the web page and type Buzzsprout and then log in, and then so I pulled up the app and I was like, oh shit, it was like 9990. I was like, fuck. So I posted that. I posted it on Threads. Shout out to Threads, y'all. They came through. I was like, y'all, I'm 10 downloads away from 10K. Let's make this shit happen. Now it became fun because I really wanted to see how long will it take me to get those 10. Because now I was like, I'm invested in this. Like, this is, first it was the fact that I caught it at 9990. So after I posted it, it really took over on Threads. People started sharing it. People were like, I'm going to listen. People were like, I got you. We got this. We're going to get you there. And then in like 3.5 hours, I go in and I'm like, episodes away. Was it 4 or something like that? And then in like 30 minutes, I saw it's like 10K, but I was like, this can't be real because I have to wait for the Buzzsprout email for it to be real. So I was just staring at it. It was just like 10K. And then I was like, nah. And then I kept on refreshing my email. I'm like, where's this email? Where's this email coming? And then the email came that really made it like, congratulations, 10K. It really felt good because doing this shit, right? For whatever reasons you're doing or whoever you're doing it for, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. I think you just show up here and talk and get out. Some people do. Some people have the luxury to enjoy that. But most of us, we do everything ourselves. Guest prep, hosting, looking for the information, editing, promoting, everything. So to see that you made it over there, and it might have taken me 4 years. I know some people it takes them earlier, some people way more later. But it doesn't matter how long it took you. You are there. It's 4 years of hard work. A bitch made it to 10K. That's all.
That is true. That's amazing. I love how you said that it doesn't matter how long it took you. You know, that reminds me of a quote. It's like, in a couple of years, you won't care about how long it took you. You'll just care that you got there.
And that's so true. And I think because most of the time we feel like it's only valid if, oh, you did that shit in 6 months. Oh, you did that in 3 months. It doesn't matter because, again, it's amazing if you do it in those 6 months or whatever. It doesn't take it away. But also, when you are being hard on yourself in that way, compare also the resources that you have and that person who made it in that time, how much resources they had. And maybe that will make you be even proud of yourself. Because there's some people who have a marketing budget. I don't have a marketing budget. I rely on myself. I wish I could rely on some of my friends and shit, but we all know friends and family are the last people to share and support as much as you'd want them to. So some people might have quality studio. They pay for studio with producers and they make their shit amazing. I can't afford that. I'm doing with what I can do. Is that going to stop me from doing? Fuck no. But I'm going to keep doing it because the more I do it, the better I get. So yes, it might take me 4 years, but in those 4 years, the shit that I've learned should also be calculated. Like, Paula, in 4 years, you learn to be a producer. You've never produced shit in your life. You've learned to be a promoter. Well, I used to promote shit back in the days, but that was when you were in college and clubs and shit. That was easy. Everybody wanted to party when you were in college. It was easy to promote shit. And so on. So I think we shouldn't care much how long it took you there, but you should look at the journey like you overcome all the things that could have stopped you from getting there and you got there.
I like that perspective. I do. No, that makes me think of myself in a similar aspect because a different aspect, but when I first started my podcast, I was using just my cell phone. I didn't have a mic. I didn't have a laptop. And I had multiple friends say, you can't start a podcast like that. You can't do that. And I had one friend who said, listen, till you can afford a laptop that'll work, till you can afford a mic, here's what we'll do. We recorded it on Zoom. I made it work, you know?
Exactly. And you remember when I told you, because when I met you, for those who don't know, I met Amanda this year at Podfest. And we have had very fucked up adventures together. Which to be honest, I don't think I would have wanted to have those adventures with anybody else. And she keeps getting herself in fucked up adventures, which I love. But you remember how you kept on pivoting your podcast? You went from 1 a week to 2 episodes. How many didn't you just recently celebrate? How many episodes?
72.
72. And your episode your podcast is turning 1 in a few months, right?
It's what, in a few months?
1 year old.
July was 1 month, was 1 year.
Yeah. So when I turned 1, I think my podcast had 50 episodes or something, like, you know. So I could have been like, oh my God, you did that in 1 year. But I was actually impressed and proud because of how hard you also work. Like, this girl has constantly getting on those discovery calls, constantly pivoting in, okay, I'm gonna do 2 episodes a week, staying up late, editing no matter what. I wasn't doing any of that shit when I started. So of course I wouldn't have had that many episodes when I was celebrating 1 year. So sometimes you just have to appreciate how much work people put. And that's why maybe they got there a little bit further than you. And sometimes even however much hard work you put, you have different obstacles, as I was talking about. So, girl, you're worth celebrating too. Kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was a little nervous when you were saying, when I first met him, I'm like, where the fuck is this going?
Oh, that's a story for another. That's a whole different episode. That's a whole. Maybe on our 1 year anniversary of friendship, we'll do an episode where we talk about let's see how the next two, when we hang out together in the next 2 weeks, what shit we come up with. Oh my God. And this is side note. Did you see how Zach commented? Did they
Call the authorities because I'm
did they
yelling.
inform the authorities? Like, excuse me?
They're gonna hear me coming.
We don't need to announce ourselves.
No, we do not. So, what would you say you are most proud of throughout your podcasting journey?
Oh my God. I think me as a person. And whenever we do these things, right? Podcasting, we don't get the validation or assurance we need, right? That's why we get excited when we get reviews. That's why we get excited when we meet somebody and they tell us, "Oh, I listened to your podcast," because that's kind of the assurance, or what was the word I used? Validation that we get. But in these 4 years of podcasting, right, the person I've become, and I constantly keep becoming, the way I push myself and I allow myself to be in positions that I don't even know how I got here, but for some reason I believe I belong here, I'm meant to be here, and I just ride that wave. So even when at Podfest this year, when I got the award, or when I go to these conferences and people come up to me and say, "Yo, I remember you from the first time I saw you 3 years ago, and the person you are right now, like, I am so proud of you. Like, look at this." Because sometimes when you are moving, you don't see the shit you're doing, because we have that goal, right? So we are not concentrated on all the little things we are doing. We are just concentrated on that goal. Like, until I get there, nothing else matters. None of this matters. So because I haven't made it yet, I don't think I should be proud of myself. Oh, I see my growth, because I don't feel it yet. I don't feel I'm there yet. But when I had that this year, when I got that award this year, it was like the awakening call. Like, yo, Paula, you're fucking amazing. You have done amazing. People are seeing how great you are. You just need to believe it and see it in yourself. And that's why I think lately all these opportunities are coming, because I'm finally allowing myself to just be in that place. Like, you have earned this, you have worked for this, you deserve this, you have grown, you have matured. So.
Okay. Okay. What are you laughing at?
No, guys. You know, when people are talking themselves up and we're like, "Damn, girl, okay, shut up. Like, we get it. You're a badass." That's how I'm laughing at, like, okay, we get it, Paula.
You are a badass, though. I agree. I know.
Thank you.
Is there anything you would have done differently 4 years in? If you could have done anything differently, if you were starting off just now?
Not really. To be honest, I'm a person who believes in no regrets, and I feel like my journey is the way it is because I did what I did with what I had to do. Maybe I would have gone to more conferences and put myself more out there, but for a person who has only been going to Podfest until last year when I went to Afros, I think I've done pretty amazing getting myself known around without being around as much. But I also think the reason why I say I wouldn't change anything, because I feel like my moment is supposed to be now. So maybe if I would have done things differently, probably I wouldn't even be on 10K downloads right now. Maybe I would still be on 5. Because sometimes I think we assume if we would have done things differently, we would have been farther, but we forget that depending on the journey you choose or the road you choose, doesn't mean you might be further. It might be that you might even have been backwards because of the obstacles you put yourself into by choosing that route. So now I am very much okay with my journey, but I do know that there's so much more work to do, and I need to be more of a doer than a talker, because sometimes we just talk, I want to do this, but you're not really doing it, you're just talking. So, and that's why these days when I hear my friends, I'm like, okay, so when are you doing it? Because I don't want to hear the talk. I just want to hear, when the fuck are you doing it? Like, we have done enough talking.
That is so true. I actually spoke to a guest on my podcast recently that talked about, you might have heard of this, but like the opposite of the 80-20 rule, the 20-80 rule. Have you heard of that?
No.
So we need to spend 20% of time learning and researching and taking in the knowledge, but 80% of time doing it.
Yes.
4 times the amount actually putting it to work.
Yes. And that's why I believe, like, I don't like to overanalyze, research, because I'm an overthinker. So once I start over researching it, I just dig myself in these holes, and I'm like, now I can't come out. So I decide these days, I come with an idea, I talk to 2-3 people so that they can help me shape it, and I start doing it, and I figure out as I do it. But if I keep just wondering, and then that's why sometimes I even have half shit, because I just start and then I'm like, they'll connect later, I don't care, but at least it started and it's out there, like, and they'll make a connection later.
Are you there? P? So did I. So.
Amanda, where were we?
We are back. We have dealt with some tech issues. I am so used to them, though. And we're back. So, P, how are you doing?
And if you're a podcaster, like technical issue, technical difficulty, it is one of the things. However much you prepare, shit is always going to happen. And that's the reason I started Shit Happens, because in podcasting, you have to realize that shit happens. Well, in life, you realize shit happens, but in podcasting, shit is constantly happening. Your guest backing away last minute. You fall. Amanda, there was one time slept through a recording session. And because you're tired, it's live. She was working night. Like, shit technically happens, and you just have to be humble and give yourself grace and give each other grace. And I like, most of the time when I have technical difficulty, it's always with a fellow podcaster. So they never are rushing me or whatever, because they relate. They're like, I go through this shit almost every fucking day.
That is true. That is true. So, I really forget what we were saying before, but I feel like we were on track with fucking something. But
we were actually talking about the 80-20 rule.
Yes, the 20-80.
That's what the 20.
You got to spend more time doing than just talking about it and researching it. It's true though, and prior to starting my podcast, I used to be the fucking planner. I used to be the planner. I would plan it out. I'd write it down, but I'd plan it for so fucking long. I'd spend more time fucking planning. And that's honestly part of why I did the opposite with my podcast. I said, fuck it. We're just going to do it. And yeah.
To quote the greatest Chris Cremisos, start ugly.
I was thinking that earlier when we were talking about this. I was thinking that. It's true though, because like, and I even said this in my 1-year anniversary one, like the amount of people who told me you can't do a podcast with your cell phone. And guess what? A year later, I'm glad I fucking didn't listen to them and started a podcast with my cell phone.
Do you know the reality is a lot of people started podcasting with their cell phone, including me. And I used to use the Anchor app before Anchor became Spotify for podcasters. I literally recorded and edited. I am literally learning how to edit with Riverside right now, because Spotify for podcasters finally updated their app, and they no longer have edit button on their app. So they partnered with Riverside. But I used to record on that. And even the first few people, because I never used to do videos, Anchor app would actually make you aware of inviting a guest. You just send them the link. A lot of people I guested with on season 1 recorded with me on that app while I was on my phone. No video, they'll get a link, they'll join that app. I record and edit it from right there. And sometimes I'll be editing while I'm on the bus on my way to work. I'm on my app like this. People think I'm playing a game, but I'm just editing.
Wow. Okay.
And when I started sharing that, when Clubhouse came, a lot of people were saying, yeah, I started in my car and during traffic, I was just recording while I was in traffic. And next thing I know, I have a podcast. So fuck those people who say, and that's why surrounding yourself with the right people when you want to do shit is important. Because if you're hanging around wrong people, people are constantly going to tell you what you can't do instead of actually telling you, you can come to me with whatever dream. Even if I think it's too big to reach, I'll be like, bitch, you can do that. Let's go. What you need? Because I'd rather you try and fail. Because even if you're failing, you're not really failing. At least you did something. Instead of just sitting with that plan in the head, and then 10 years from now, you're like, man, I wish I could have gone with that idea. Because you never know what one tiny idea might lead you to. It might not lead you to the bigger picture you had, but also it might lead you to an even bigger picture you never had.
No, that's true. I love how you mentioned the people you surround yourself with, because that is so true. That is so true. You know, had I listened to, and it was actually other podcast hosts that were telling me it was not going to sound good. It's not going to be as professional if you use your phone. And I had one friend, Sean, who has a podcast as well. He was like, fuck those guys. We're going to figure this out. We're going to do it. And we did. And I remember there were times when I was stressing and I couldn't figure out Audacity and I was all upset. And he was shifting my mindset before I even fucking ever published anything. So like having the right people is important.
And that's so true. And my thing is, I get it, it's not going to sound professional or anything, but go back to anybody's podcast, episode 1, and tell me if it sounds professional. You're not supposed to sound professional when you start. I mean, by all means, depending on what you're doing with your podcast. That's why I'm saying your why is so important. If you're a business owner, you have a business and you are trying to get your business noticed in a podcast, and you have the budget to go to the studio and create quality, why the fuck shouldn't you not? Because of course that's simple. But if I'm a small business, I'm still building and I'm creating and I'm figuring shit out as I go. When I go back now and listen to episode 1 and where I am right now, yes, sometimes even the sound, I have some episodes in season 1 that had better sound than which are some in season 4. But I've learned a lot. It all depends on what environment I am and how seriously you take your craft. But also, again, it shows how far you've come when you go listen to those episodes. Because if you notice, every season you are pivoting. Season 1, my episodes had background music. Season 2, people were telling me, oh, background. And I wasn't listening to the professionals. I was listening to my listeners. My listeners were telling me the background music is distracting them. They'd rather not. Those I pay attention because they're listening to my shit and I want them to continue listening. Season 2, I took her. I have a different intro for season 1 than I had for season 2. Talk Shit with Me finally has a jingle in season 4. We didn't have a jingle in season 1. So the more you keep going and working and figuring out, like, do I like this? Am I invested? Do I want to grow in it? The more professional you go. Don't tell people to buy mics and shit for an episode 1 and have professional sound when they don't even know how long they're going to be doing it for. Like, first do it. Do you like it? That's what I mean. The first year, when I did it for 2 years, and then I went to the conference to Podfest, even though I was already attending it, but attending shit virtually is not the same when you're in person. When I went in person and felt that energy and people lighting up about things that I love, that's when I came back and I was like, okay, now we're going to start investing because I want to do this long time. I don't know where it's going, but I know it's something that I would like to invest in whatever I can. So I would say, listen, okay, this year we're going to invest in a professional intro and outro. We research how much it is. Who do we want to go with? We pay. Next year, we're going to invest in this. Because I don't have an income like that. I am paycheck to paycheck, but I am going to figure out how to do it with what I have. But if you have the budget, by all means, go crazy. Because trust me, if I had the budget, my marketing and production will be crazy. I'm telling you. That's on 100. But right now, we're going to do what we're going to do.
No, I get that. I get that. Working with what you have, you know, and again, that comes back to the like, you could wait till you have all the ducks in a row, but that might not happen.
Exactly. And also when we talk about also the people you surround yourself with, I stopped hanging out with my friends as much, not because I don't love them or we no longer work, nothing about that, but it's because my time, I wanted it to be invested in my projects. So, and especially if I'm hanging out with y'all, but y'all are not supporting me the way I want to be supported, I'm just wasting time. So I spend my time these days with people who are literally doing the same shit I want to do, or they want to grow as much as I want to grow. So that, yes, I might be hanging out, but we are talking idea. We might gossip here and there, but half of the time we'll be talking ideas. I want to do this, or let's collaborate on this, or let's talk this. Like literally yesterday, and Amanda were catching up. This wasn't planned, by the way. It wasn't planned. I was supposed to record a solo episode. But as we were talking and just catching up and shit, I was like, oh, by the way, because of what we were talking, I was like, why don't you interview me on my show? And that's how most of the people I hang out with, it's not only about, oh, interview me on your show, do this. No, but we end up getting ideas of how to collaborate with each other, or how to get our shit better, or how to support each other further. And I feel like because I'm hanging out in those surroundings, those communities where I'm literally talking and people are willing to help, is the reason I'm also growing. Because if I would have continued hanging out with my friends instead of taking time to go to conferences or going to meetups of podcasting or meeting new people and trying new things, I wouldn't be as I know it's gonna sound cocky when I say this, but I gotta own this shit. I am known in the podcasting industry, which is still shocking to me these days, but it's because I've put so much time and energy into those spaces. But I wouldn't have if I was putting my energy somewhere else. So sometimes the reason we are not growing, becoming better versions of ourselves, is because of what we are allowing to surround ourselves with. And no, I'm not meaning cut your friends off. I still have my friends. I just don't hang out as much with them. Take it how you will.
No, I agree. I think your friends and your support system is key. You know, like my friend Sean, who helped me launch the podcast, is a big trajectory who's helped me with this. Even I ran into I actually never shared this. I've never told anybody this, but I recorded my first guest episode and I hated it. I was awkward, and even the guest commented to me. We were friends, but she commented to me about how I didn't release that episode, but I texted Sean like freaking the fuck out, and he's like, listen, so you ask her to re-record it and you don't release that. And I'm like, I can't not release this. And he's like, you're freaking out over this episode. Why are you going to fucking release this if you hate it? And I'm like, that's true. But, you know, he's also one that when I was stalling and I didn't have the second episode, 10 days later, I got a text. When can I hear the first guest on Amanda's Mindset?
And I like that because, and you know this because sometimes
it wasn't rude. It was just a little push. I love those, like that little push, that little ask. When can I hear this? Not like it wasn't a dick move. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way to say stuff that's douchey, and there's a way to say stuff that's like giving you that little oomph.
And that's what I tell my friends, like, I'll give you grace, but there's a time that you have to realize the grace has to stop. Otherwise, I'm just allowing you to stay on yourself. And you know, I give you tough love all the time sometimes, and you're like, damn, P, I'm like, yeah, fuck that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, because I know, I'm like, if I keep giving you grace, I'm also enabling you. So there should be a time where grace is extended, and there should be a time where grace is taken back. Like, okay, bitch, get out of your zone now, like for real. And my friend, the Mama Jackie, I'll go check out her podcast and support her. She's multi-talented, does amazing things. And sometimes she's constantly giving me these ideas. I'm like, okay, but when are we fucking doing it? And I'll call her, I'll be like, okay, today did you do that shit? And because sometimes we do need accountability buddies, because we are our biggest, worst enemies, because we doubt ourselves, we second guess ourselves, which ends up just delaying. We are just delaying the shit that is unnecessary. So that's why I used to never realize the importance of accountability buddies, or being in the right communities, or having the right support system, until I started podcasting. And that's why maybe I love this industry, because, or maybe that's why I also love Podfest, because Podfest was the first podcasting community, well, apart from Buzzsprout, but they happened at the same time, that I belonged in, that really embraced me, me, as loud as I am, as cussing as I am, the beer drinking, loud ass short girl who just talks her shit. And they never once told me you're too much. They never once told me to tone it down. They constantly wanted to know what I was working on, what I got going on, how I am personally, physically, mentally. You find those people and you realize, like, yo, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do if you have the right people with you.
That is true. I agree with that. They can't do the work for you, but I agree with that. I do. Who would you say has been a big support system on your journey?
Oh my God, you're about to get me in trouble, because baby.
Why?
I mean, there's no one person, and I don't want to mention names, and then I forget other people. Like, sometimes how you're on the stage and you're thank you.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Wait, and
I didn't mention half the other people. I don't give a fuck. You didn't get thanked. Oh well, sorry. Too bad. So sad. Maybe it didn't help me enough.
I mean, you are a dickhead, and that's okay. I'm more like, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody else. I care about that part, because there have been a lot of people who have been really so much supporting my journey that. So instead of mentioning specific people, I'm gonna mention specific communities and highlight those. Because without those communities, and those people came from those communities, I wouldn't be there. Yes, there are few individuals who I talk to way more than others, who literally kind of like every day, including you, Amanda. And sometimes I tell people, it's not when somebody came in your life, it's how, when they came in your life, they have benefited you. Because sometimes people think, oh, but I've known you longer. So like, I have people who have known literally last week, and they've been more support than the people who have known 2 years. So first and foremost, shout out to Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is the reason I had a lot of my first in podcasting. Well, because from Buzzsprout I got a ticket to go to Podfest, and Podfest was Podfest is. There's never enough words for me to say about how much Podfest means to me. The community, the people, the support, the love. Then from there, we're going to go to Mopad. I cannot ever not thank these incredible individuals. The entire, like Mopad, I love them. They support me. And when I talk about support, I'm talking about not just podcasting, but in me as a person, personally, whenever I have shit. And then we'll go to Podmatch. Alicia and Alex and Filippo. God bless those people, yeah. Alex literally prays for me. To have somebody who sends you a prayer praying for you is something that I will never stop talking about. So, and then we'll go to Black Podcasting Association. I have nothing but love for those incredible human beings. Then it's the Afros and Audios, which gave me my first opportunity. And this year they're giving me another first opportunity. And any community that, as new as I am, and just throw opportunities and allow for me to shine. And I'm here cracking up like, can't believe you all trust me with this shit. And they're like, why not? Have you seen you? And that shit is so empowering. So shout out to them. Then I have the Empowered Clubhouse room. Oh, those boys last year, every fucking day. This year I've been a little bit lazy because I don't know, but 7 to 8 in the morning, Monday to Friday, I'm in that room. I was a moderator for that room for the evening chat. They have been a big part of the reason of my growth. And there's so many individuals in there who are literally my besties. Jackie feeds me once a week, and I met her through that. So, you never know where these people, these connections will go. And then, of course, we have the Moms Network. I have to give it up to producer Jamie. She's incredible. And then we have the meditation, oh my God, Cremisos community. Then we have Women in Podcasting community. Then we have Life with P community. Life with P community is the first community I joined. This was without me being a podcaster, a community I created. And to see these individuals, when I wanted to bring it back, because it was something I started in 2015, and it helped me when I was dealing with my depression. And that's when I started talking about mental health. Life with P was born with that. And we had a WhatsApp group and everything. And then people started flourishing, and it slowly dies. But that's a good thing. When something dies, it's because people are finally growing and they no longer need that. Like, it's okay to outgrow things if it's for the best, right? Nobody wants to, I don't want anybody to keep staying in my community. That means you're not growing or you're not learning. I rather see, and when you grow, that means this place no longer serves you. You need to go find something more deeper for you. And I love to see that. So when I was trying to bring it back, because I want to bring it back to Atlanta in person, and I reached out to them and I was asking them like, hey, how would you think about me bringing this back? And because you guys were the OGs, you guys started this group with me, I would like to hear if it was beneficial for you, if you got something out of it, or am I wasting my time? And the testimonials I had from people in that group, and how, sometimes you never know what something impacted people until you hear them share their version of how it impacted them. And that shit just made me realize the power I have in me of touching people and creating safe spaces for people. I didn't know, like, I knew I had that, but hearing them, their testimonials was like a wow moment. So, but the number one person I will give through the support that no matter what, well, my dad, I want to say my dad, I want to say Alvin, my younger brother, I want to say my manager, Angela. She's the one who saw my comment on Twitter and told me, bitch, start a podcast. And she's the first person I go to with any ideas. She gets to see all the behind the scenes. And never once she has told me you're dreaming too much or you're dreaming too fast. She'll be the first one to say, why haven't you been doing this? Or even add extra, like, you could also add on that. And I'm like, you're just making this more worse because you're giving me more shit. So her and one of my very best friends, she was also one of the first person to ever buy any of my merchandise, and she's all the way in Tanzania, and she didn't even know how she was gonna get it. But her and her husband have been biggest supporter, which is kind of bittersweet because yesterday I woke up to a message that Danny lost his father, and right now they're dealing with that. But those 4 people, without them, this podcast wouldn't be there, including Rachel. Rachel bought me my first laptop because I didn't have a laptop during COVID when I was podcasting through a phone, and she even bought me a mic too. So those 5 people, I would say, and I don't want to say this, but also add in there Matthew. The podcast started because of him, and anytime I wanted to go to a conference and I didn't have money, he sponsored. He's been like a low-key talk show, the first talk show with his sponsor without being a sponsor. So apart from those communities, I'll have to give it to my dad, Alvin, manager Angela, Guantua, and Rachel. Because from day one until today, they haven't stopped supporting. From day one, they have been there and Matthew. Oh God, I keep forgetting Matthew, right?
Okay. Wow, that's amazing, though. I love that. You've had a lot of support along the journey. That's wonderful. So,
because I'm a person who, you know what? I am a person who's very quick to cut people lately, like in reality, like, and I'm a person who, for a while, I used to have this idea of forcing people, getting mad at all my friends are not supporting me, but then I realized I'm wasting energy that I could place somewhere else. So instead of worrying and concentrating on who's not supporting me, I decided to take that energy and pour it into those people who support me and only care about that and worry about that. But I'm also watching, because once I make it up there, like I'm that big, and then your little people who are watching me but not supporting when I start reaching out and calling, oh baby, you're not going to be able to reach me. Sit out there and say, oh my God, I used to know her. We used to live together in Atlanta. Yeah, you're going to have just the stories. I'm going to have an assistant. Like you're going to have to go through 6, 7 assistants before you get to me.
Okay. So what's on the come up for Talk Shit with P? You can tell us any upcoming things?
So shout out to Afros and Algiers who gave me an opportunity to be part of their marketing and logistic team for their conference that's happening this year in October 18th to 20th. That's in Baltimore. And I'm going to be there. I might also be speaking. There is a panel, an African panel that we are looking forward to presenting. So I'm excited about that. But lately, I like volunteering and working events. I don't even like anymore conferences. I don't even like anymore speaking at conferences as much as being part of them inside out. I've been emceeing and hosting, and I think I like that more than actually me speaking. So if I have to moderate a panel or host a panel or a track, or those are the shit I'm looking forward to right now. And that's why I'm grateful that I will be also going to Podcast Movement, where I've been hired to be a room manager, and I am excited about that, especially since it's my first time ever going to Podcast Movement. And this is funny because when I was at Empowered, a lot of people, when I was at the Empowered conference, which happened in June on my birthday weekend in Charlotte, a lot of Podfest people were there. And everybody was talking like, oh, am I going to see you at Podcast Movement? I was like, nah, man, because Podcast Movement always felt like more for business people. Like if your podcast is a business podcast, like my podcast is still like a baby that I'm figuring out what I actually want to do with it or what direction. It's not business related. I'm not like, yes, I would love sponsors, but I'm very particular on what type of sponsor I want. That's why I'm not too quick on how do you monetize, how do you this. Yes, I do want, but I am particular and I have an idea of how I want to go about it. So to me, I thought Podcast Movement would just be but then when I came back and I had certain conversations with people who were at Empowered Conference, and again, this goes back to the way they were sharing how they see me versus how I see myself. And they're like, Paula, you are there. I don't know how you keep doubting yourself or making yourself seem small, but you don't know the power you have in these podcasting communities. Like, look how when you enter, people just happy to see you. People want to hear what you are going through. Like, so don't make yourself small when you're not small. I was like, I am small, but I get what you're saying. But so something told me, and that's when I remember I called Amanda. I was like, oh shit, I want to go to Podcast Movement. And then I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. And this is me also. I think sometimes we are fearful of asking for help because we think, oh my God, they're gonna think I need this, I can't afford this. I don't care, I can't afford shit, and I'm gonna ask because I want to be there. Because I am a firm believer in closed mouths don't get fed. Nobody's gonna knock on your door if they don't know you're looking for something.
I always say, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Exactly. So I went and I posted, hey, I want to go to Podcast Movement. If anybody is sponsoring tickets, anybody has tickets, or anybody knows how I can go about getting a ticket because I can't afford this shit, blah, blah, blah. Because I was already late for applying for the sponsorship ticket and whatever. And then I tagged Podcast Movement, and Podcast Movement reposted, and then they slided in my DM and they're like, hey, we are looking for this. Email this person and tell them the person who runs the podcast movement IG sent you. And I did. And I went and I did. And they're like, oh my God, tomorrow is the last day. Here's the form, apply. We're interviewing next week. And when I interviewed, this is something she actually told me when we were interviewing. She was like, Paula, I like you. I know we have a lot of people we are interviewing, but I have a feeling you already got it, but I'll keep you posted. I was like, cool, thanks. And then on Friday, I got the email that I got it and I'm getting paid for it. And to me, because a lot of people are like, oh, if you're just in one room being a room manager, you're going to miss other talks or anything. I'm like, I don't care. I'm concentrated. I'm going to be concentrating on the people who are in that room. I don't go to these conferences, no offense, but I really don't go to listen to talks as much as to network and meet people. Yes, there are certain talks I want to see, and they did ask us on the interview, they're like, did you look at the tracks? Do you know which tracks you would like to see more, so we make sure that we give you that opportunity to be in that room? And I gave her, they tell you to give your first, second, and third choice, and I gave them my choices, and either way, I am gonna be the key point of the AV team and the speaker. So I get first chance to talk to the speaker. I get to moderate the room, bring questions. I'm more excited about that. And I get to share this moment with my bestie because she's also going to Podcast Movement for the first time. So we get to enjoy this moment. And so some of the shit I want to know, she's going to share them with me. She's going to tell me, like, have you met Amanda? If she goes and hears something she's excited about, she's going to come and literally scream on your ears about it and won't stop shutting up. And probably might even drag that person to you. So I'm not worried about missing shit. Plus, I'm just excited. More parties going to be there. A lot of podcast people are going to be there. Like, I'm just excited to be back with my community and be around people who won't shut up about how amazing their podcasts are, or how much amazing shit they're doing. And that energy, I always love being in that energy, because sometimes we're around people who are like, man, I'm tired about you talking about your podcast. I'm tired about hearing that. So at least you'll be in places where nobody's going to be tired about you talking about that shit. And then after that, actually before that, Pod Tours is back. Podfest Pod Tours is back. And they're starting in Atlanta. So August 14, I get to be with my pod fam. Then August 19, I get to go to DC to be with more pod fam. By the way, me and Amanda have a surprise for everybody in DC that we're working on. So I can't wait to share.
Do I know what the surprise is?
You remember yesterday I had to go back and remember the name because I'm making something.
Oh, yes. It's going to be a surprise for me. It's going to be a surprise for me. I'm going to forget. So I already fucking did.
She does this all the time. So, and then, so what else after that? Oh, Growth Now Live Summit. Growth Now Summit Live. I always keep messing this up. Growth Now Summit Live by Justin. If you all don't know who Justin is, you're suck. I can't say his last name. I've already messed up his last name. So Shank, Justin. Justin, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. But I was excited. That was happening in September, but it's being moved to next year, April, which gives you enough time to plan. And have you seen that lineup? Have you seen the fucking lineup? And, Justin is known for doing incredible shit. And if it's not incredible, he ain't doing it. And that's why he moved it to April. And I expect nothing but incredible shit. So sadly, tickets were on sale last weekend, and they were really, really cheap ass tickets if you missed them. But I am gonna share the link. Go it. So I'm gonna be there next year in April. But
Me
first,
too.
yes, but first we're gonna start with Podfest in January, which is happening January 2025, 25th. We're gonna be there as the mayor and deputy mayor of Podcast. We're gonna be there representing. So make sure you stop us and say hi to us. We love it. Hug us and do whatever. Then we will be back. We will be in Philadelphia in April. So I'm excited that I get to see my bestie again twice next year. By the way, Amanda's birthday.
We're going?
Eh?
It's in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna be having an adventure in Philly. I've been to Philly once when my cousin used to study there.
I bought a ticket and I don't even fucking know.
I mean, it's in April. We'll figure it out in April. That's all that matters. As long as you bought your tickets during that good price time, and that was good thinking. So that's what we got going on. But also, have you all seen this? So we have
hat. Okay, what we got?
We have which way am I going? I can't. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so here, this is Shit Happens. This is Life with P. This is Rap Shit with P. This is Talk Shit with P. So we have a lot of match. I've just been lazy at posting content, y'all, because I hate coming up with captions and hashtags. But we have a lot of content. We have a lot of match. Rap Shit with P came up with shit cards, which are cards to give people. Because I'm a card giver and I love cards, and I gave quite a few of them out in Empowered, and people are supposed to record themselves as they open the cards to see their reaction. So I have some of those videos that I'm going to be posting and promoting the cards which are coming out. Holiday season is coming out. Buy you a Rap Shit repeat card for your friends. They're funny. They have the word shit in there, and there's one for everybody. These four are the first one we came out with, but we are gonna keep getting back into creating different ones for different ideas. And then we have and Rap Shit with P, by the way, if you're ever interested in branding or merchandise branding to figure out what match to have, if you're going to a conference, that's what Rap Shit with P, the consultation firm. So come hire me and let's consult. I mean, Paula is always rocking a match. Come hire me and get you some match ideas and shit. I'm just saying. Support the small business, okay? And then Life with Paula is a community that I'm building in Atlanta to bring creatives who are dealing with mental health, and also creatives who can't afford much shit. That way we can do barter trade and support each other. Because sometimes, just because I might not have money to pay you, I might have a talent that you're seeking, and we exchange. That way you do something for me, I do something for you, and we didn't have to pay, and we're progressing, but also supporting each other. So we're going to start doing meetings in the fall. I'm looking forward to that. And then Shit Happens is coming back season 9 in September. We're going to take a brief break right now because while I'm in podcast movement, I do not want to think about editing, uploading, none of that. So this is season finale. We're going to go on a break for the entire of August and be back in September. But we will also be recording fresh new ones because I know we have some episodes from March, but we will be recording fresh new ones. I have Junaid who's going to be coming to share all video requirements, because if you don't know who Junaid is, then you're sleeping. And if you ever want to get your videos the right way, Junaid is the person you need to be speaking to. So we have a lot of new faces that have been asking me, when am I coming on your show? But because I've been on a break from recording, I haven't really recorded since April because these have been like back-end episodes. So I'm excited to go back, which will be going again live. And also, every Friday, 9 p.m., I go live with the incredible crew. 5 or 5 guys? 5 guys. I actually met Brian at Podfest. Then he introduced me to the Man on the Street, Team Dog, Mad Professor, and Pharaoh. And they invited me as a guest on their show one time. They liked me so much. They're like, you want to be a part of the host? So every Friday night at 9 p.m., and I'm the only girl. we drink, we smoke, and we talk about the shit that's happening in the world. It's always a good time. Make sure you check them out and come support. So that's what's going on. So merchandise, a lot of conference attending, and I literally told myself that this is a year of possibility, and I've been using that hashtag, and literally anything is possible, and that's how I'm going with it. Like, finally, my IG made it to 2K followers. It took me a long time, but also I kind of like having small followers because I go back and I delete all the bots. So probably I might not really be on 2K if I go and start taking the bots out, because I like having genuine engagement over the amount of followers. But it was just so nice to be like, oh my God, I got 10K, I got 2K. Like, I'm just getting all these amazing things. So, and I got to interview a writers week, Black Writers Weekend, which was happening in Atlanta. It happens every August first weekend, and they called me last minute afterwards, and I just somebody stepped down and they're like, "Are you free to come and interview people on the podcast?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how long I was going. I was just like, "I'm free on Saturday. I wanna come." I met incredible people, connected with incredible people who I'm gonna be doing amazing shit with. Go check out Nicola's Girls Who Branch. She's doing amazing stuff with that. I met a lady, she wrote a book about her daughter. Like, I just met amazing. It was, people are talented and they are, y'all are doing amazing stuff. No offense, a lot of people are talented, but I was surrounded with so many Black incredible people who have been doing incredible shit, and I was just in awe at how all this is happening in my city and I didn't even fucking know. So I need to also be more aware of the shit that's happening in my city and supporting and appearing. So I'm looking forward to, I feel like this is just the beginning of incredible shit that's to come. I probably forgot some other shit, but who cares? I'm tired right now.
Well, that's amazing. I'm so excited to see you in 2 weeks. I'm like pumped, very pumped. But that's great. All big and amazing things on the upcoming. I love it. I love it.
Thank you very much. But I know you were interviewing me and hosting me and on my own show and wanted to, and I appreciate you for last minute jumping in. So while we are here, let the people know what you do, what you got going on. If there's a new episode coming out, what they need to go check. Promote yourself, bitch.
Okay, bitch. You can check out Amanda's Mindset.
Damn. Amanda is loud as fuck. Yeah, she's killing my eardrums over here. Go ahead.
There's a reason I actually have a neighbor that had told me, like, they hear me in the apartment building. They hear me. I don't know what they hear, but they hear. Well, even if I'm doing breath work at the end, like, we let out a scream. I scream, and they tell us to use a pillow. I've never used a pillow. I just let it rip. And I'm just in my apartment screaming. And it's like 20 seconds we fucking scream for it. And I'm loud. I'm loud.
Yeah, and I used to think I was loud. I'm loud, but Amanda is like, and she has like this high pitched voice. So when she's loud and high pitched, like, it comes in my, like, half of the time. Like, I don't know if you ever hear it, Amanda even posted a screenshot when she was screaming when she found out she was gonna see me into it, and literally my hand was like this. That's how loud she was, and this was on FaceTime. So I'm not exaggerating. I'm serious. But go ahead, promote yourself, bitch.
You can check out Amanda's Mindset anywhere you listen to your audio podcast. New episodes every Monday, sometimes Fridays too. So subscribe, because you never know. You can follow me on social media, The Breathing Goddess. Instagram is The Breathing Goddess or Amanda's Mindset. And yeah.
Tell them a little bit about what Amanda's Mindset is.
I speak to a wide range of individuals who have gone through different shit in their life, and they've transitioned their mind, their internal state somehow, and they've come out at the other side. Whether that's a toxic relationship they were in, maybe a fitness journey, maybe they started their own business. They've gone through some type of transition, made it to the other side of it, a lot of internal shifts to get there. I share my own internal shifts as well. And yeah.
Love it, love it. So yo, go check her out. One last thing, Amanda. You said every new episode on Monday. What episode should we look forward to this coming Monday?
I don't know yet.
And she's not lying, y'all. Amanda works very I'm impressed at how she runs her podcast. But this is why I tell people, do what works for you. Don't listen to the gurus or shit. If that shit doesn't work for you, it doesn't. Do what works for you. I was trying to find a calendar. Amanda, can you check for me the first date of the first Wednesday in September? For some reason I can't find my calendar.
The first Wednesday in September. That is the 4th, September 4th.
All right. Thank you very much. Amanda, thank you for hanging out with me and interviewing me.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is mine. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for season 8. I hope you all enjoyed it. Season 9. Oh my God, even saying it sounds so weird. Season 9, the fuck? Season 9 will be back in September 4th, you said, right?
Yeah.
September 4th, season 9 will be back. And I don't know yet if it's going to be a brand new episode or we're going to mix and match. I'm going to go with the flow with Amanda and figure it out on the last weekend of September. I mean,
I don't tell people. I don't tell people. I got Mondays ready, but we'll see.
Exactly. So until then, keep downloading and catching up on all the episodes you haven't done yet while you wait for September 4th. And those who are not subscribed to my newsletter, you missed the big one. I was receiving emails on how fucking amazing the newsletter was. And this is why we do them monthly, because I rather fill everything in once than send you weekly. I'm about to unsubscribe to some people because if you have an email newsletter list, please don't be sending emails 2-3 times a day. Like, I really want to know and support, but if you're sending me emails every other day or 2 a day, I'm going to unsubscribe. Because I hate emails. I hate writing them. I hate reading them. I hate anything involving emails. Until then, you all stay safe. Enjoy the remainder of summer. Do some fucked up shit. Spend time with your loved ones.
Are gonna
pray for us. Pray for us in DC. We make it back home safe, because whenever there's traveling involved between me and Amanda, shit just goes sideways. So
I'm not flying this time. I'm picking P up from the airport, so that's either going to be better or it's going to be worse. But we'll see.
The last time I picked her up from the airport, this time she's picking me up from the airport. So this is gonna be.
You haven't seen my driving yet. This should be fun.
Pray for me, or I might just die in Amanda's car, because
a lot of people refuse to get in my car.
See? But until then, y'all stay safe, and P and Amanda are out.
Shit talking, always rocking. Shit talkers, come on and drop in. Shit talk is always shocking. Talking shit with P, yeah. Talking shit with P, yeah.